From the very moment Tyler Matthews steps into the courtroom, the air feels electric, thick with unspoken tension. He moves with a confidence that seems preordained, chest out, head high, medals adorning his chest that he hasn't earned, projecting an authority that exists only in his imagination. This isn't mere teenage arrogance. It's a collision of entitlement and justice, a fragile ego clashing with the unyielding structures of accountability. Over the next half hour, the courtroom becomes a stage on which Tyler's borrowed glory will be systematically unraveled, every gesture and claim stripped down to reveal the thin thread of hubris beneath. For Tyler, this is a world where reputation has been inherited rather than earned, and Judge Caprio is about to make it clear. No uniform, no family name, no legacy can shield anyone from the law or from the piercing lens of truth. It's a compelling question for the audience. How far would you go to protect a family name if it meant walking over honesty itself? The subtle power dynamics are impossible to miss. Tyler wields his father's badge like a weapon, a shield of assumed influence he believes can bend reality to his favor. Every step, every gesture, seems calculated to assert dominance. But Judge Caprio is a study in calm authority. He does not flinch, does not scold. He simply recalibrates the courtroom, letting the principles of law and fairness resonate louder than any inherited prestige. The contrast is almost palpable. On one side, a young man clinging to borrowed respect. On the other, a judge whose authority stems from wisdom and impartiality. For the audience, this moment illuminates a truth we often overlook. Privilege can blind even the most self-assured individuals. Tyler is about to receive an unflinching lesson in humility, whether he is ready for it or not. Then comes the explosion of tension. Arrogance escalates into aggression, and Tyler's entitlement crosses into outright violence. Assaulting a disabled veteran, tearing away a Purple Heart. These aren't acts of bravado. They are manifestations of a dangerous sense of entitlement untempered by empathy or accountability. Observe the body language. Robert Chun, the veteran, exudes calm, dignity, and decades of earned experience, while Tyler's posture radiates aggression, disrespect, and a desperate need to assert control. The disparity is stark, almost cinematic. For viewers, it poses a challenge. What would you do in the presence of someone convinced that rank and privilege allow them to rewrite the rules of respect and honor? Here, morality collides with real-world consequences, and the courtroom becomes a crucible where character is tested in the harshest terms. As the sequence unfolds, a corrective force emerges, one that extends beyond law enforcement. Veterans who embody service and sacrifice. Tyler's charm and intimidation falter under their measured, unwavering authority. This moment drives home a crucial lesson. Titles, badges, or inherited influence do not automatically command respect. Intimidation only works against those who lack the grounding of experience and integrity. The audience witnesses Tyler's confidence crumble, confronted not by the threat of punishment alone, but by the undeniable weight of accountability pressing from every direction. It is a stark reflection. How often do people overestimate their influence in arenas governed by ethics and law? Here, reality asserts itself with relentless clarity, pushing back against entitlement, and Tyler's illusions begin to dissolve in full view of the courtroom. In these moments, the story transcends a simple legal proceeding. It becomes a meditation on power, respect, and the consequences of assuming that legacy can substitute for character. Tyler Matthews is not just learning about the law. He is learning, brutally and publicly, that earned authority is never inherited, and that arrogance can only survive so long when confronted by truth, experience, and unwavering moral clarity. The handcuffs click, and suddenly the illusion shatters. Tyler, once untouchable in his mind, is physically constrained by consequences he never imagined. The scene is tense, almost cinematic, as he thrashes, protests, and calls on his father's influence, none of which changes reality. For viewers, this is a turning point. Authority is not theoretical, it's tangible. The lesson here is clear. Privilege may give someone confidence, but it cannot substitute accountability. And let's be honest, watching someone unravel like this is both dramatic and uncomfortable. Think about it. How do you confront someone who believes they're above the rules? Silence fills the courtroom, and for the first time, Tyler is forced to see himself as others see him. The footage, the evidence, the relentless scrutiny, all dismantle his inflated self-image. Then the phone calls from his father's office highlight another layer. Attempts to leverage influence fall flat in the face of integrity. Judge Caprio's calm but firm intervention demonstrates a principle rarely enforced. Justice doesn't negotiate with power. Audience, here's a question for reflection. If you had to confront a loved one's abuse of privilege, how would you proceed? This scene teaches that accountability must precede family loyalty. Now we witness a pivotal moral moment. General Matthews sacrifices his own accolades to restore honor to the veteran and make a point to his son. This isn't just a courtroom spectacle, it's a life lesson. He demonstrates that true service is measured in integrity, not inherited reputation. For the audience, the emotional weight here is palpable: shame, disappointment, and the courage to correct a wrong. Consider this. How often do we teach children that values are earned, not inherited? The scene underscores the timeless lesson that legacy means nothing if it's wielded as a shield for wrongdoing. What an extraordinary case. Tyler Matthews entered this courtroom believing a name and some borrowed medals could shield him. In under 30 minutes, Judge Caprio methodically dismantled his sense of invincibility, enforced accountability, and turned a lesson in entitlement into a masterclass in justice. The sentence reflects real-world consequences: fines, community service, restitution, and public education, all earned, all personal. This isn't just a story about a privileged son, it's a lesson for every viewer. Honor must be earned through action, not inherited. If you found this case as shocking as we did, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping breakdowns of entitlement meeting justice. Silence hangs heavily in the courtroom, and for the first time, Tyler Matthews is confronted with a reflection of himself he can no longer ignore. The evidence, the footage, the testimony, the unflinching scrutiny, strips away the protective layers of his self-image, exposing a stark contrast between who he believes he is and how others perceive him. This is more than a moment of embarrassment. It's a reckoning. The phone calls from his father's office, intended to sway outcomes or leverage influence, collapse under the weight of integrity. Judge Caprio's calm but firm demeanor makes it clear: justice does not bend for power, status, or family connections. Here, accountability is non-negotiable, and the law applies equally to everyone. For viewers, the scene poses a compelling question. When confronted with a loved one misusing privilege, how do you respond? Do you shield them, or do you uphold principle? This courtroom moment makes it abundantly clear that loyalty cannot come at the expense of morality, and that true respect for family sometimes means holding them accountable. The narrative deepens as the focus shifts to General Matthews, whose actions underscore the moral backbone of the story. Faced with a situation that could have bolstered his own reputation, he instead sacrifices personal accolades to restore honor to the veteran and teach his son an invaluable lesson. This is not merely about a courtroom spectacle or a public display of justice. It is a profound life lesson in humility, responsibility, and integrity. General Matthews demonstrates that true service and leadership are measured not by inherited reputation or family name, but by ethical choices and personal accountability. The emotional resonance of the scene is striking. Viewers experience shame, disappointment, and admiration all at once, witnessing someone confront wrongdoing with courage rather than convenience. It also sparks reflection on our own teaching. How often do we impress upon the next generation that values are earned, not inherited? This is a lesson in legacy, one that insists honor is not a shield but a responsibility. Tyler Matthews' journey in the courtroom is both a cautionary tale and a transformative lesson. Entering the proceedings with the confidence that a famous name and a few borrowed medals could protect him, he is swiftly humbled. In under 30 minutes, Judge Caprio methodically deconstructs Tyler's inflated sense of invulnerability. The courtroom becomes a stage where entitlement is confronted, deference is replaced with consequence, and the illusion of power is stripped away. The sentencing, including fines, community service, restitution, and a public lesson in accountability, reinforces a critical message: privileges and advantages do not exempt anyone from responsibility. Each element of the punishment is earned, tangible, and personal. It is a powerful reminder to viewers that true honor comes from action, not inheritance, and that reputation is meaningless if it is wielded as a tool to avoid consequence. This case resonates far beyond the walls of the courtroom. It is a story that challenges assumptions about power, family loyalty, and ethical behavior. For anyone watching, it provides a mirror, asking difficult questions about how we confront wrongdoing within our own circles. It demonstrates that justice is not a performance for the powerful, but a principle that holds everyone accountable. For parents, children, and citizens alike, it is a masterclass in integrity, courage, and moral clarity. Tyler Matthews' downfall is not just a spectacle. It is a lesson in humility and responsibility. And for those witnessing the unfolding of this extraordinary case, it is a reminder that honor, integrity, and accountability are earned, not inherited. If this story shocks, challenges, or inspires you, reflect on its lessons. Think about the ways we model behavior, confront privilege, and insist on accountability. Share your thoughts, discuss these lessons, and carry them forward. Because the real victory here is not the courtroom ruling itself, but the timeless moral lesson it imparts. True honor must always be earned, never assumed.